What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 11. This episode was extremely difficult for me to watch because I'm not a psychoanalyst type of chick. Okay, I don't care about people reading letters to their younger selves, visiting childhood homes. I know it's beneficial for the couples, for them to get to know each other better, but I just don't want to watch it. It's extremely painful for me to watch because it's so boring. And so it's a 2 hour show, and it's 2 hours of people reading letters to their younger selves and visiting childhood homes. And I was not a happy camper. So this review might come off as a little bit on the angry side. Now, don't get me wrong. I still love this show, but this is like, they'll have like one or two type of episodes that I can't. So let's start off with Ben and Morgan. What the hell did Ben say to Justin that got Morgan's feathers all ruffled up? Because the first time that it was revealed to Morgan that Ben was talking to Justin, Ben said some very problematic things to Justin. He talked about her education, talked about her finances, talked about her family, things that she had shared with him in confidence. He went and blabbed it all to Justin, and in a very negative way to make her look like he put her in a really negative light, and this was supposed to be his wife. And even if he didn't have any feelings for her at that time because they had just gotten married and they were on their honeymoon, you should have enough respect for her as just a fellow human being to not reveal all of these things that she told you in confidence to someone that she really didn't even know. So I get that part. Now, the second time around, when she found out the second time that he was still talking to Justin about their problems, what the hell did Ben say to Justin? The only thing that I can remember is she said to Ben, you are repeating everything that I say to you verbatim to Justin. You even talked about how I thought my family was perfect compared to yours, or his family was perfect compared to hers. Something about families and something about being perfect. He went ahead and repeated that to Justin, right? Okay, what else was said? I mean, is her problem that she doesn't want Ben to talk to Justin or anybody at all, period? Don't you talk about us, our marriage, me, our problems to anyone at all unless you're talking to an expert and I'm right there with you? Or is her problem that he said something problematic to Justin? Did he call her out of her name? Did he talk about her hygiene? Was he, talking about her intelligence? Like, what the hell did Ben say to Justin that got Morgan so upset? If I knew what was said, because right now it's coming across like she's controlling and that she doesn't want him to talk to other people about their problems, which I think is very unrealistic. Because even Mitch said, we are in a very unique situation that nobody else is going to understand. So it only makes sense that we will go to one another if we're struggling with something. And I agree with Mitch. So Morgan doesn't understand that. She doesn't get that. And she herself talks to no one. Or is she upset because he said something specific that we don't know about? Because if he said something about her that was very negative, that painted her in a really negative light, I could understand why she was mad. But if it's just him venting to his friend, I'm like, girl, what is the deal? What's wrong with you, Morgan? Like, what is so bad about that? Anyways, she's so upset that she decided to move out. So now they're living separately. Okay, so now they're living separately. And it's just, conjuring up in my mind memories of past seasons where people never moved in with one another, where people ended up moving out, living separately. And those just, those relationships are doomed to fail. There's no way that this is going to get any better. It's just no way. I don't understand why they just don't pack up their bags and go home, because Ben and Morgan, to me, I think they're done. If they make a big turnaround, I don't think it's going to be very genuine. I don't think it's going to last very long past decision day. But the way that I see them now, they need to just pack it up and forget about it and go file for divorce. So Dr. Pepper comes to visit them. She talks a lot of, psychoanalytical mumbo jumbo, really don't care. Later on, they read letters to no, Ben read his letter to her, the letter that he wrote to his younger self. And she looked like she was just in pain, just sitting there neck, just to be in that close proximity of him. She looked so uncomfortable. So after he got done reading his letter, it was her turn to read hers, and she was like, "I don't feel comfortable reading this letter to you. I don't feel comfortable sharing, my innermost thoughts and feelings or whatever, because I don't trust you. You're just gonna take what I say and you're gonna go twist it around and go start talking about me behind my back, and so I don't trust you." Okay, I totally agree with that. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. She wants to protect herself. She wants to protect her heart, her mind, her energy. So I understand. She's like, you know what? You've wronged me 2 times. I've given you multiple chances to stop doing what the hell, whatever the hell you were doing. You didn't want to stop, so I don't trust you anymore. So that was fine with me. She got her stuff and she left. She bounced. She was out of there. Moving on to Justin and Alexis. Okay, Justin and Alexis. Justin has not been the same since the honeymoon, practically, basically. In the very beginning, Justin was very talkative. He was very bubbly. He was very happy. And now he's just a shadow or a shell of his former self. He is not the same. And I don't know if it's because I feel like, if I'm going to have to speculate, I think that because Alexis is not showing him any signs that she's romantically interested in him, or that she wants to have like a romantic relationship with him. Now, when they're in public, when there's other people around, they're very lovey-dovey, because even when the group had gotten together earlier on in the episode to talk about Ben and Morgan, and at first it was the guys and the girls separate, and then they all came together. Once again, she was all up on him, leaning into his chest. His arms were around her. They put up a front like they're very lovey-dovey, but in the midnight hour, there's nothing going on. So I don't see any chemistry between them. I see Justin looking so lost and so defeated. Justin is just not his former self at all. Just not the same. And Alexis comes across as, Alexis is good to Justin, but I think she makes a better friend for him than she does a wife. Now, she's got the qualities of a good wife, because when she listens, she's a great listener. I've noticed that about Alexa. She's a really good listener, because she'll look at you directly in your eye while you're talking. She'll ask the appropriate questions to further along the conversation. She gives very good advice. She remembers things that were said to her previously. So she's a fantastic listener, and she gives great advice. So she's more kind of like a good friend to him, or the sister he never had or something. I just don't see this as being like very romantic. I don't see a lot of chemistry between these two people at all. But she does have the qualities of a good wife. I don't know if the chemistry was there, it'd be a bomb relationship. It'd be a bomb marriage if the chemistry was there, because he's so, well, I don't know if he still is, but in the beginning, he was so into her. He was ready to, he said, "I love you" to her early on. He wanted to make her happy, doing whatever he could. But I guess when he saw himself failing, like he saw that he wasn't making her happy, that's when he just became like something completely different. And, when they talk about his childhood, he was raised by his brother, who's only like 6 years older than him. But his brother was really, really tough. He said his brother would give him whoopings. And I'm like, I wish he would. I wish he would be a brother of mine and give me a whooping. But he said that his brother would give him whoopings when he would act up in school. His brother tried to keep him on the straight and narrow. Whenever he was struggling with something and he would go to his brother for help, his brother would be like, "No, you figure it out." So because of that upbringing, I guess Justin puts a lot of pressure on himself to do well, I guess, or to excel. And so when he's not perfect, when he feels like he's disappointing somebody, and in this case, Alexis, he just kind of like gives up, he just completely gives up. And he reminds me of, what is that cartoon? Droopy. He reminds me of that little cartoon dog, Droopy. Like, he's just so much doom and gloom, and just moping around and just completely giving up. And I mean, it's like he can never make Alexis happy. And it seems like Alexis is trying, because she told Dr. Pepper that, "Hey, we talked about our issues. Now we're going to start all over with a clean slate." But then when they went to go fly kites, it was like she was embarrassed by the fact that he wanted to fly a kite. And she was like, "You know what? That's my husband. I'm just going to have to accept him for who he is." Like, I thought it was great that he was flying a kite, because it was like, I mean, he was happy, and we don't really see Justin that happy anymore. So he seemed really happy flying his damn kite, and she was just kind of like, oh my God, I hope nobody's watching us. And then the damn kite got stuck in the tree. So Alexis read the letter to her to her younger self, talking about how she needed to break the cycle of hyper independence. She grew up with a very strong, independent mom. She said that she never saw her mother cry at all, and so that's how she was. She was like, I always have to be tough. I can't let people see that I'm vulnerable. I can't let people see that I'm weak. I always have to put up this front that I'm good. I'm okay. I don't need help. So she has to learn to let that go and to be a little bit softer. I just hope that Justin can find some damn happiness. But as far as like a marriage and I just don't see it for them. There's like no chemistry between them. I really don't see any chemistry between them. Like I really don't. Anyways, moving on. Stasha and Nate. Not much to. Oh, they've consummated their marriage. Okay, let's talk about that. So they consummated their marriage, right? And I feel like that's the reason why. And I'm Lord, I'm going straight to hell. But when Nate told Stasha that he loved her or that he had feelings for her, y'all, I felt like he only said it because he wanted to get in her drawers. That's the only reason why he said it. I don't think he really meant it. I think he was like, because she's a very attractive young woman. They have that chemistry between them. I mean, they have that chemistry strong, right? There's a very strong chemistry between these two people. Like I said, when they showed us that shower scene at the honeymoon, I thought they consummated their marriage then and there. But anyways, he's been waiting. She's been giving, and they've been like, from what I could gather, they have been, you know, like basically doing everything but okay, they've been really connecting physically except the final countdown part. So it's the look, this he's like, he's tired of waiting. Okay, she's like teasing him a little bit of here, a little bit of there, doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and he's like ready to hit that home run, right? And so he was like, let me just go ahead and tell her that I love her so I can go ahead and get what I need to get out of her and get me. Y'all, that's what I think. And I know that sounds horrible because they're like really good people. But I think that's the only reason why he said he loved her. And so they go visit his childhood home. And all of a sudden his dad appears. Like his dad just materializes out of nowhere. And so the dad talks about, whatever. So the dad appears. And so Stasha called his father dad. At first she called him Joe, and then she was like, or dad. And I felt like Stasha couldn't wait to call him dad because she didn't have like a dad of her own. And so I felt like, I don't know if she was kind of hoping that they could I don't know. I just felt like she just was happy that now she can have like a father figure in her life. And so she couldn't wait to call Nate's dad. So then they go visit her friend. Okay, so when she was in high school, she lived with her friend and her friend's family for 1 year. I don't remember what. I think I zoned out when she gave the reason why. But anyway, so she goes to live with this friend while she was in high school, and she got really close to her friend's family, her parents, and she saw her parents like her. No, this is my question. Okay, let me finish my thought. So she saw her friend's parents like her parents. Her friend's father, she said, was like a father figure to her. That's the problem when men abandon their children. Their children are forever looking for a dad. Their children are forever searching for daddy when these men abandon their children. And that's what I'm going to say about that. So when I was trying to figure out, why are we visiting her friend's home? Why aren't we visiting Stasha and her mom and her mom's home? Like, I didn't understand that while we were there, while we were at her friend's house. I thought we would have been at, with her mom, and her mom telling us about her childhood. Moving on to Kristen and Mitch. When they meet with Dr. Pepper, Kristen says that she wants Mitch to basically, she said that she wants him to like show some sign that he loves her or that he's keeping the door open of loving her, that she needs some type of reassurance from him that this is going to go well, that he's committed in some way. And Dr. Pepper told her, well, you can't demand that of him. You can tell him what you need and then it's up to him if he can give that to you or not. But at least let him know what you're looking for and what you need. And so she was like, yeah, I need what did she say that she needed? She needs to feel like he's in this. She needs to feel validated. She wants to have the reassurance that, that he's committed. I don't know. Basically, she just wants I think with these people on Married at First Sight, I don't know if they're so like scared of being rejected on decision day that they are constantly trying to, like they need this constant reassurance that they're going to be chosen on decision day or something. I'm like, don't worry about that. Just live your regular everyday life as best as you can. And if you feel like if you need to be reassured that your partner is going to choose you, you're going to know way before decision day. I think it's going to be obvious way before decision day. So they go visit the baseball field because Kristen played a lot of baseball or softball when she was young, so that really meant something to her. And then she talks about how her parents were really hard on her as far as like being perfect, as far as being the best at everything she did. They put a lot of pressure on her. And so as an adult, she's extremely demanding, and she puts a lot of that pressure now on herself. Her mom was expecting nothing less than perfection, whereas Mitch, he had absolutely like no structure at all as a child. He was roaming the streets wild, just out of control. So they're at the beach. Mitch reads his letter to his younger self. It gets emotional for them. It gets emotional for him. And maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but I felt like the times that I did glance at my TV, when he was reading his letter and he was getting emotional, I felt like Kristen was trying to squeeze out some tears. I think she was trying to go through the motions of how she should act when your husband is reading something and he's getting emotional. I don't think it really hit her that damn hard. But him reading the letter, of course, she's going to say, I got to know him a little bit better. I'm not as angry as I was with him I'm not as angry with him as I was before. And this is going to bring them closer. Okay, fine. Moving on to Miguel and Lindy. Miguel and Lindy, to me, y'all, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. Let me just cut to the chase. When Miguel read his letter to his younger self, to Mindy, and in the letter, he tells his younger self, oh, and by the way, you're going to meet a total babe that you'll fall madly in love with. What? I felt like he said that because that's what she wanted to hear. I mean, Lindy is definitely attractive. She's cute and all. I don't know if I would describe her as a total babe, but then I'm not a man and I'm not Miguel. So maybe to Miguel, with his Dungeons and Dragons crew, Lindy is considered a total babe. But it just seems so forced when he said that. Like, I'm going to say something that she's going to want to hear. Or maybe she's dropped hints like, you need to show when we're on camera, you need to show that you're really into me. I don't know what it was, but to me, it just did not seem genuine at all. And then he looks at her and he goes, I'm in love with you. And it just seems so stagey and so scripted the way he said it. Everything about that to me, I did not buy. Lindy and Miguel to me, okay, they're academics, right? They have PhDs, they have doctorates, they're very educated people. And to be at that level, you have to have done really well in school. So I feel like Lindy and Miguel are the kind of people that excelled in school, and they were the type of people, the type of smart kids that wanted everybody to know that they were doing well. Like, they like to brag about their achievements. They like to tell their friends or whoever would listen, how they're doing in school, about all of their great grades. And this is like spilled into their adult life where they have to always show that they're excelling, that they're doing well. And I feel like that's how they're treating this whole marriage thing on Married at First Sight. They want the other couples and they want the audience to know, hey, we're doing well. We are getting straight A's in what we're supposed to be doing here. We're following the proper protocols. We're saying the things that need to be said. We're acting the way that we need to act. I mean, we are like, that's what I get from them. I don't get like real genuine love, because to me, it's shocking how Miguel has completely turned around. He went from I don't know how I'm going to feel about you in 6 months. I don't know how I'm going to feel about you on decision day. I'm just taking it day by day. And she was like, I need you to be in this. I need you to be in this like me. And he's like, I can't promise you a damn thing. And now he's like, oh my God, you're a total babe and I'm falling madly in love with you. And then he says to the camera, it was so easy to fall in love with Lindy, was it? And the reason why I kind of don't buy it, because his friends don't even like her. His friends don't like her. And he actually agreed with his friends when his friends were like, don't you see these red flags? And he was like, yeah, I see them and I'm going to go ahead and handle it. And it seemed like he was agreeing with his friends, because that's when he had the conversation with her. Like, sometimes you get kind of erratic, and I don't play that. And so all of a sudden, oh, total babe, I'm falling in love with you. And it's so easy. I don't buy it. I think these people just want to put up the appearance that they are the star couple, that they are what everyone else should achieve to be. That's the feeling that I get with Mindy and might as well call him Mindy, Miguel and Lindy. That's the feeling that I get from them. I'm just not buying it with all the. And then when he said that to her, she was like, "Oh, babe." I mean, it wasn't even like, "Oh, wow, you're in love with me." Unless, he had told her before. She wasn't like, oh my God, because that's all she ever wanted, was for this man to fall deeply head over heels in love with her. But when he finally said it to her, she was like, oh, so you're in love with me? Like, her reaction was a little bit underwhelming to me for someone who wanted it for so long, who wanted it so badly. And maybe he had said it before. I think they told each other, I love you before. I think they did, but I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it with them. I don't know why. I just don't buy it. Because there are couples that I've seen where, even though they may not be lovey-dovey, they don't say, corny things like, oh my God, total babe, madly in love with you. You can see it. You can feel it. You can tell that there's something there, even if they're not constantly talking about it. But with Lindy and Miguel, I don't know. Like I said before, I don't see it, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's there, and I don't know. Anyway, that's my review. Thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. And if you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.